What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to season 2 of the Connection Interruption podcast. I am Mark. You can call me Swing Live if you want, right here. This is episode 2, so let's go ahead and bring on our other hosts here. Tay and Ryan, get on in here. I believe Tay is on the road right now.
No, and we lost him.
Oh, we lost him. We'll get him back. But that being said, how we doing?
We're here.
Now, I know in the pre-show you said you haven't been able to game as much this week. It happens.
No. This
It
week
happens.
has been. It makes up for last week, right? Like I had 15 games on my list.
Right. I mean, it typically averages out, especially
Yeah.
in that adult life. You gotta like kind of pick and choose. Some weeks it's 0, but in some weeks it's super heavy. But
I went on stream Monday night and played some
Mhm.
Mario, and I only lasted about 45 minutes. So while I was in my stream, some guys that I didn't know jumped in and were like, "Hey, can we play some multiplayer?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll give it a shot." I haven't played the multiplayer in this. They were like next level good.
like too good.
So they were like getting all ahead of me, and then I just kept winding up in the bubble,
Mm.
and I
Yeah.
wasn't having it.
That's kind of the interesting thing, especially like smaller games, is like as far as like on the Twitch thing. I know Mario's like right in the middle, but you'll find some people who are just hardcore gamers on that said game, and then they'll just be insanely good. And it's like, okay, like where did you even come from? They're just
they
like,
were really, really
and
good.
yeah, and it's like I kind of think that it's like just pop in and just flex, and I don't blame them when you're that good. I mean, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, it was just interesting because I was tired. I had just hopped on just because I had said I'd be on, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not having it. Hey, there's Tay
We got him back.
in the car.
What's up, my guys?
This is
What's
not
going
the
on?
first person on the podcast to appear in a car, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure the legality of this, but
Right.
it's fine.
I'm the second car guest.
You are. You are. You're not driving though, right?
Yeah, I am down here in the Lone Star State,
Nice.
and I would like to say I'm on a mission to get to South by Southwest, but it don't look like it might be happening. But yeah, I'm here. What's good, fellas?
I mean, that's this weekend, right?
No.
South by
not till March.
Southwest starts in
It's
February,
March
March.
11th.
Okay.
So
11th
right,
through the 21st, right?
I think if it can survive January, I think it'll happen.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
I
I'll
believe.
cross the fingers, hoping no more
We got-
variants come out. But yeah,
Just gotta stay positive, because I know the COVID numbers are going up, and we'll just cut to it. I mean, we're gonna talk about it in the news, but Dota 2's like next and first major for this year just got canceled, and it was pretty last minute from my understanding, and all these pro teams and stuff are just really mad. And I mean, if anything, don't cancel the major, just make it like online viewing only. You know what I mean? There were definitely some other options there before they just canceled the whole thing, but
I mean, the MLS event got canceled as well.
wow,
EMLS is going to be virtual only this
that's interesting.
weekend, which we were planning on attending. So, yeah, it kind of throws things for a loop. I mean, there's a lot of that stuff going on. Probably the most notable, and hence the reason the title of the episode, "Hello, is there anybody in there?" This one's going to get Tay going. He hasn't seen it yet, I'm sure,
Yeah,
because he's been out traveling.
It's funny because I saw the same article, just somebody else wrote it, and
Yeah.
I when I first read it, I thought I read it wrong because I was like, nope, this makes no sense. But I won't steer your thunder. Go for it. Inform Tay.
Tay, you know what
Yeah.
Sony's solution is to there not being enough PS5s?
what's up?
Making more PS4s.
I'm done. I'm done.
It makes
I'm
no
done.
sense.
I
Zero.
am done.
Sony's solution to the PS5 shortage is bringing more PS4 consoles into the market.
Yeah, I don't understand.
What?
in the slightest.
Outrageous prices. So you're gonna bring the PS4 back again? So PS4 Generation 4 at a higher price.
I'm sure that's
What's
not
gonna
even
be
a new
different about it?
generation one. I would say it's probably the same one that we've been seeing.
The PS4 Pro.
Yeah, and then regular PS4 consoles, essentially, they can't get the chips in for the PS5.
Yeah,
It's hard to play. We're gonna need
but
them to
like,
stop.
it would only make sense if there was like a demand for PS4s and nobody could get their hands on. It's like, oh, okay, like, or out of PS4s and PS5s. It's like, okay, well then that would make sense. But they're like, but I guarantee you could go to any local GameStop and they have plenty of PS4s. I mean, I think I have two. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they're just
There are
paperweights.
no consoles at like any stores right now.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How much
they
you
took
think
the
I could get
consoles
for a
out of school.
PS4 and a PS4 Pro right now? Because I'm not using
Are
it.
you doing
About
cash
three,
or
four
store
hundred.
credit? Because I looked this up earlier today.
300 or 400 for real?
If you put it on
Facebook
on
Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace, you can get a good chunk. But I actually looked up the console trade values today. So the PS4 Slim 1 terabyte console was trading in for $220.
Now this is GameStop.
Yeah. The regular 500 gig black is 187. A
not
PS4
bad.
Pro 1 terabyte black is 280.50. And the only
And that's
reason I
in-store
know is
credit, right?
yeah, that's in store credit. So cash is 20% less. So cash for the Pro, you're looking at, if you're a Pro member, $224.40.
Not bad.
The main reason I was looking earlier today is because somebody had mentioned getting a VR, and I was like, yeah, I know I should just buckle down and do it, but
You should. You should. I've been
well,
playing mine.
what the expendable income? Your boy is going to the Raiders Bengals game on
Very
Saturday.
nice. Very nice.
I seen that, and if I hear you scream Raiders one time on live, I'll be waiting for you in the parking lot. Okay.
Raiders.
Interesting. Yeah, they're going for about 200,
Yeah.
300 on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I don't know what Sony's thinking there. Like, I really it's one of those moments where you're like scratching your head. Like, where are they coming from?
Just never know, man.
And this what happened last time when I went from Xbox to PS4. Now I'm going to PS4. I'm going to switch over to Xbox. Thank you, Sony.
I remember there was a holiday season where Xbox Live was down. This was during the 360 days, like for quite a long time.
Yeah, it was like Lizard Squad, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so when that happened, I remember basically switching and playing more PlayStation at that point. I could see the same thing happening for a lot of people this time. Because this one, I really think Sony on this one, you deserve the boo.
Yeah, I just don't understand. But whatever. Whatever. I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll work. Maybe they'll sell some. I feel like they're just hoping that people buy them thinking it's PS5. They're like, oh, we only have PS5 boxes. Just put them in those.
I mean, if they put them in there, that'd be a thing. But
right, they're trying to start a riot doing
that. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Like, doesn't everybody that has wants a PS4, don't they have one?
That's what I'm saying. My point is if they don't have one, they could easily get one.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're available. They're hard to find any pre-owned consoles right now at those stores, though. I mean, the cabinet at my local GameStop was completely empty the last time I was in there from pre-owned.
Now, when did you go?
What is today's Wednesday? So Sunday.
Interesting.
Yeah,
now, I was
Sunday?
thinking maybe they would have like an uptick in them just because
After the holidays.
After the holidays, people are selling their old consoles, but I guess not enough PS5s got released for people to even get their hands on those. So
yeah,
it's definitely interesting. But
yeah, man, I'm sitting on a gift card right now that I don't know what to do with because I want a specific thing and I can't seem to get it. So
Oculus Quest 2.
Sure, that's exactly right. But that gift card is not enough for that yet. But but yeah, I'm holding out. Eventually, that'll probably be what it goes towards. But I was looking at trade values today because of that. Because I was like, oh, maybe because we have an exorbitant amount of Switches in the house. So I thought maybe one of those could go
Right.
in order to put it towards that. Because I mean, even the Switch trade value is decent.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had 2 friends actually in the last week buy a Switch.
I love my Switch. I mean, there's no.
I haven't played
No
mine that much,
question.
but
Like
I need to though.
It's my most played console because of the portability factor.
Fair enough. So then, Tay, what have you been playing this week? There we go.
Tay.
Can you hear us, buddy?
Nope. There
Nope.
it goes. He
All right.
gone. All right. What are you
So-
playing other than your?
So I've been playing some Insurgency Sandstorm. Been
Okay.
back on that. That game's super fun. It scratches that FPS shooter. I've been running around on the VR still. I've been playing some more Onward, just laying down the law in the VR FPS world. And then also been playing some VR poker. That's been fun. Just kind of, I just got an email from PlayStation. I hope it says,
So how
don't miss the holiday sale. But what's your question?
how chatty is that VR poker?
Kind of depends what kind of table you get. But even if people aren't chatty, they're interactive. They're just not talking, if that makes sense. Like if
Right.
you wave, they'll wave back. And like for instance, like it's just kind of funny because like this guy was like smoking a pipe, at the table or whatever. You can just grab it from them, or they have cigars, vape pens. You can get water. You can get little pets that are on the table hanging out. So it's kind of all fun stuff like that. But I just like took it right out of it, right from him, and he tried to get it from me, and I was like leaning away from him, and he couldn't reach it. And then the guy next to me started leaning in, and I had to like protect it. So it's kind of fun just to tease people and stuff like that. And obviously VR chat's a lot more chatty. I actually had the opportunity. It's kind of interesting, and some people are going to feel different ways about this, but I met these 2 people. I saw these 2 people kind of like hanging out, and like I think it's called like the world is called Black Cat. It's kind of just like a cool coffee shop / bar. I don't really know. But anyway, it's kind of got that vibe to it. And they were like hanging out like in the corner all alone. So I just kind of walked up, and after talking with them for like 10 minutes, turns out these 2 were actually dating via VR, and they've actually never met in person. And the person who set them up, they've never met that person in person. So it's kind of interesting what's going on in the VR world. And honestly, you could make a whole YouTube series about just the state of VR, because I find it very fascinating, like the direction we're heading, you know what I mean, as far as VR and everything like that. But pretty interesting.
It's really weird to me.
Yeah, I mean it.
I'm
In
not-
that a lot
I'm
of
not
people are gonna
saying
feel
that
that way, but I was
bad.
like,
I just think it's like
yeah, no, I
seems
mean,
odd.
yeah, no, I know, and it's kind of interesting because like to them, like they were just like whatever about it. And I mean, I was asking them, I was like, well, what makes dating in VR hard? You know what I mean? They were kind of just, we're talking about that, and I was asking them some serious questions because I was genuinely just curious. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, like this is something you'd think that's going on, but not you don't really expect to come across it. So that's cool. That's all I've been really playing. Today, my uncle continues to just beat me in chess ruthlessly. So I'm still trying to get better at that, but he helps me learn and stuff like that. So it's not like, too bad. One of these days I'm going to get him. But that's been me.
Someday. All right, Tay, what are you playing, man?
This week, well, since I've been on the road, this week since I've been on the road, I was playing NBA Playgrounds, Madden Mobile, and I've been playing Solitary all on my Switch. So
Some solitaire. Okay.
I actually
Very
jumped
nice.
into Solitaire a couple weeks ago. I didn't mention it, but I have been playing it off and on the computer again. That Microsoft Solitaire that's part of Game Pass. I didn't realize
Yes,
Wait,
yes.
I didn't realize there
they
were
have
achievements.
solitaire.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Interesting.
Solitaire on Game
I
Pass
thought that just
Ultimate.
I thought that just came with like every Windows.
It
So
did, but they have like special events and all kinds of stuff
right.
you can score and whatever. It's
Hmm.
interesting.
Well, like that's the cool thing about VR poker too, is it's not just poker. They have blackjack and roulette, and they also have slot machines. I mean, it's crazy too because like if you want, I could be playing blackjack on the table, and then I can spawn a slot machine, and I can put it wherever I want, like in my area. I put it behind me, in front of me, and so you can play blackjack and pull slots at the same time. So
Interesting.
I can see how that could get dangerous, but because that game does have an option for a credit card. So
Ooh,
you get free chips every 8 hours. You spin like a giant wheel in the center of the casino. But
yeah.
yeah, I know for sure there are some fiends out there spending money on mom's credit card. But so yeah, be careful, gamers.
That would be bad
Yeah.
for me.
So like yeah, I mean like the first time I played it, I was just, checking it out. I ran out of chips like immediately, but I was also playing just like for fun, just like checking it out. And then so like now I'll just hop on if I'm on, like if I'm gonna play, I'll be like, well, I'll just go get my free spins. That way, like I have like a stockpile of chips if my friends want to play or something like that. But it's pretty interesting because I have been trying to get better at poker just because we recently started poker nights with my friends and I, just for fun kind of thing. But I need to get better.
Interesting. So we were talking a little bit about events getting canceled and stuff. That
Right.
EMLS series that was supposed to be hosted in Cincinnati
Hmm.
is actually live right now on the FC Cincinnati Twitch.
Dang.
And they're playing. It's actually the FC Cincinnati rep is playing. So interesting to see that event is taking place right now, and just kind of I don't know, it's a downer because that was something I was really looking forward to. But they're doing the season qualifiers right now, and it looks like he is not in the top 8 to advance to Series 1 right now.
Interesting.
So it'll be interesting to see where he places. It looks like they're 11 or 12 games in, depending on who's where. Minnesota is in first, Toronto, Sporting KC, Houston, DC United, Nashville. Ooh, dang. They just adjusted the scoring or the leaders. He's in 19th. He's played
19th.
12 matches and has 13 points, which is not a good record.
Well, I don't know how much more time that he has, but hopefully he can kind of mount a comeback here.
There's only 14 matches, so there's
Okay.
no way he'll qualify.
Dang,
this
that's
point.
unfortunate.
Yeah, which is really, really disappointing because that would have been cool, especially after having somebody that's been near the top of the leaderboards for quite a while on their side. But I mean, at least we're not missing out on the guy that's representing FC Cincinnati running the table with somebody this week.
We're missing out on the in-person experience.
Yeah,
Right.
it would have been disappointing though to go and not have their own club represented, like they do, because they like if the event's being hosted, whoever's hosting it usually gets an automatic bid, but I don't know how it's working with this because it's not being hosted by anybody live now. There's 27 teams total in the mix, and he's 19th. I really want to play the guy that's representing St. Louis or Charlotte, though, because they are just getting rolled. But, I mean, it's the first qualifier of the year. I just need to build my Ultimate Team some more. I got to settle in and play on one console, and I guess it was PlayStation was the console of choice this year, and I missed that, but because I have it on Xbox, and PC. So
I think it's really interesting how that always works. I feel like it's always switching consoles and stuff like that.
well, yeah, it's who's
and
going to give
now,
them the most money, right? Or like
right.
the most support, I guess would be the way to put it.
Well, like the other thing too is like who, who has more on the console, because there is also the idea that like, okay, if we do PlayStation, we might have more people who are going to compete versus, maybe if we go on Xbox, we won't have as many competitors.
Right.
So there's always that issue too. And so I know like, and it's kind of weird because like each game kind of has like its own console as far as like the community goes. Like I know Call of Duty back in the day used to be Xbox and now it's PlayStation and stuff. But yeah. There was something I was going to bring up from the news. Speaking of getting shut down and COVID and stuff like that, did you see the Razer mask?
I actually tried to get in on the beta. They had a beta
Yeah.
test, and I was
It
like,
does not look
I was
good.
like, I will never pay for this. But I
It
tried to
does
get in on the
not
beta.
look good.
No.
It's the Razer Zephyr. It's huge. Like seeing it on the guy from PC Gamer, like his name is Dave James. It's massive and it looks ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, I thought it was going to be a little bit more low key. I mean, I knew it was going to be kind of out there. I mean, considering what it is, but like, it's kind of weird because it's got like this like viewing screen in the middle,
Yeah.
but like because of its shape, it makes his mouth just look massive. And so it's just like, what's like, you know what I mean? Like, because the way it like reflects light or whatever, it's like zoomed in on like, so he looks like he's just got like walking around with like the biggest lips. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, Razer, good idea, but you probably should just left that alone.
I mean, to me, it's just a way to capitalize off of something they know people are going to want/need.
Yeah.
Typical business jump in to try to get a piece of the pie.
Yeah. I would buy the toaster all day, every day, not the mask.
I wonder if, though, like, I could see if I was going to a LAN center or something like that, wearing it. Maybe. I mean, I only try to get in on the beta because I wanted to see what it was like, because it looks really heavy.
Yeah, that's a good point too. You need quite a bit of like strap support on the back of your head.
I was curious as to how it would pan out, because it looked really, really heavy to me, and I was like, I would not do well with. I struggle with certain ones that I have because some of them are heavier than others. Yeah, and if I'm wearing them an extended period of time, like we wear them at work,
right?
It just depends. But I would be interested to see how heavy it is, because it looks super heavy.
But on the plus side, you'd have really toned traps. You know what I'm saying? Like you'd be looking good. You'd be sitting at that desk and people
my
be
shoulders,
like,
right, from holding my head up. Like
you'd just be really toned. You'd be sitting at your desk and people are like, dang, okay. But then you got this massive mask on that looks like you're ready for like a gas attack or something.
Yeah.
I think it's too cool too, because like it amplifies your voice. So those like kids microphones that you have where it's like you talk into it and it comes out it comes out real like distorted. I would imagine that's what it's like.
Maybe we could sound like T-Pain.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, yeah. Part of me feels like if I wore that thing, I would get fired from my job. They would just get annoyed with me. I'd be saying Bane quotes, Darth Vader quotes all the time.
Yeah, the Bane thing was an immediate, obvious thing for me. I was like, yeah, I could see myself doing that.
Nobody cared who I was till I put on the mask.
That's right. I would totally say something like that.
I'm also tempted to just wear a ski mask from now on for just like a mask everywhere I go, just for fun. I mean, it works, right? In a way.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you got to get the one that doesn't have the mouth hole, but I just think that, I mean, now's the time to do it. It's winter. But anyway, what else we got going on in the gaming news? I thought it'd be a little bit more quiet I guess some of this news is kind of quiet. It's not a whole lot of like news related to games. This one I thought was interesting. Lego halts Overwatch 2 set while it reevaluates partnership with Activision Blizzard. So I thought that was really interesting that they're just like, oh, with with the sexual
The
assault and
misconduct
harassment
and
allegations, that they're just like Lego's like, whoa, we're gonna, because they were supposed to go on sale February 1st, but I just feel like at this point it's so delayed that maybe they weren't seeing the hype behind it. And they're like, well, let's just cancel it, and then it's good PR.
yeah.
I mean, no, seriously though, because like they could like it's not like they didn't know this was coming. At this point, we're what 3 weeks away from February 1st, so they're all
Yeah.
produced. You already made them, so like you
Yeah,
could've
but they
canceled
can
it a
just
long time
repurpose a
ago.
lot of those parts, right?
Oh, that's true, but at the same time, like you could have
The
made this
boxes
decision.
probably not, and all
When
that
did
stuff. Like
when did all that stuff come out? I mean,
it's
it
been a
was
while, but more
was like,
stuff came out this week.
oh really?
Yeah, so I actually put a blog
Mm,
up on my blog about it.
like more people stepping forward, or
Yeah, so there was an article that came out. Um, it was like the lead thing I put on my blog this week. It was from PC Gamer. Tyler Wilde had an article out that said how Blizzard failed the women who worked for it, according to 3 Who Left, and he
Mm.
essentially got an interview with 3 different former employees and talked to them. It's pretty damaging. Like I read it and was like, I just don't know how you treat another person. Like
right?
we're again, like we haven't talked much about it because what's up, Dexter?
What's going on, Dex?
We just haven't talked much about it because we were trying to avoid kind of the downside of it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
honestly, the 3 of us, and I know Tay's not here to speak on it, but the 3 of us all feel pretty passionately about the fact that it's ridiculous that it was allowed to happen as long
right.
as it did. It should never be happening, but like once you know it's happening, like how does it just continue?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know we all stand on that, in the same way, and I think at the same time, it's always best for let these things play out, and you kind of speak against the idea of what's happening in those allegations and stuff like that. But I think it's always best kind of like let things play out, support the people, and just kind of let it play out like legally, essentially, and hope that everything works out that way as well for them. So that way, at least there's some justice involved. But that's interesting. I did not know about the more information, but that makes sense. Where Lego's like, okay, like before we were kind of like iffy, but like it's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, I assume.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, if you have a chance to read the article, it's on PC Gamer.
Gotcha.
Again, Tyler Wilde. It's a very well written piece about a really terrible topic.
Right. Interesting. Now I said there wasn't a whole lot of news as far as games go. But the one article I did find was about PUBG, and that is now free to play. But if you're looking to play ranked or custom matches, you will have to buy the full game.
Should I
But if
let
you're
my
just trying to
5-year-old play it?
should you? I mean, I don't see why not.
I mean, he plays Fortnite. He's pretty good at it. So I'm
I
kind of
mean,
like, it's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, I would say
And
also
there's no
the
building,
community.
right?
No, there's no building, which he might not like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I feel like PUBG is a little bit more toxic, and I think it always has VoIP, so you could probably just turn that off just so he doesn't learn any new language. But
Yeah.
beyond that, yeah, I don't see why not. Honestly, I mean, he'll probably play one game and be like, I'm good. And go
Yeah,
back to
we're like,
Fortnite.
I'm gonna go play Fortnite now.
Yeah. Which I updated it and was going to play, and then my friend never got back on, so I unfortunately did not get to play the new season, because then at that point my other friend is like, well, let's just go play Insurgency Sandstorm. So I did. But so next week I'm sure I'll have played it by then and let you guys know what I think.
Cool. That'll be an interesting one.
Right. Which I know that, like, I think it was Tuesday, they got their weather update, which that giant tornado seems pretty cool, but it seems.
So I just logged in to look to see what was on the store before we got on.
Yeah.
And was like, I have no idea. No idea.
Well, any new skins on the store or
nothing? Like, they've been putting out new ones every couple days or every day. Like, there's a brand new one out there, which is interesting.
Right. Yeah, I have not bought a Fortnite skin in a long time. So this is interesting too. I don't know if you saw it, and it kind of goes into the world of crypto. But Norton, with their 360 security suite, if your PC meets the specs, it will basically just make mining easier for you. And so it will just mine with your computer as long as you have the program up, and then it'll put it in your Norton wallet. But which this kind of just continues to push my opinion on Norton. So most mining pools, like the one I use, charge a 1% mining fee, just 1%. Norton's is 15%.
How much?
15.
That's crazy. What do they do that's
it's
different?
great. It's 15 times higher than any. Like, I've used maybe 3 different mining pools. It's kind of, when I first started, just trying to figure it out, and they're all 1%. I've never seen, maybe 2%, but 15. So 15%. It doesn't sound like a lot, but
15% on anything is high. As somebody who deals with margins all day,
yeah. So it adds up, and especially if you either have thousands of users choosing to mine and stuff. I'm just like, there's no reason for that. Zero, but So if you don't trust Norton, it kind of gives you another reason not to. It's just kind of like, man, it's kind of like, wow, okay, Norton, like, I see how we be. But in other gaming news, did you see how long Dying Light 2 is going to be?
Yeah, a number of hours that I'll never be able to put into a game, and it can't possibly be that good at 500.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of a 500-hour game?
See, I think they're kind of cheesing that number just by, like, the collectibles and running around the map and discovering things. Like, there's no way that's all, like, actual, like, gameplay. Like, I almost guarantee 400 hours, if not more, of that is just running around the map and finding blades of grass.
How long has that game been in development?
No idea. Not long enough for it to be that long and enjoyable for that long.
2018. Right?
So three, almost 4 years.
So it's interesting because they talk about how big it is, but in February of last year, there was an article released by PC Gamer and I actually just found it immediately because I remembered reading it. It said the development of Dying Light 2 has been total chaos.
Dang.
Like, and that the CEO of the development company slowed the progress of the game because of his autocratic style.
Interesting.
The lead writer left.
Well, when did he leave though? Because at that point, it's already been written, right?
So it was planned for a release of spring 2020,
and
that was missed. And then a new release date was selected. And then it said the game lost its lead writer. And that was in January of 2021. Gotcha. So it was, that's been over a year ago, right? But they delayed again. And then the guy who wrote the game that left, Paulo Salinger, on his LinkedIn page at that point had said, after 21 years, I've decided to end my work with Techland.
Wow.
So he had been there for 21 years and was like, peace.
Dang.
So
I don't, like I don't know what could cause all that, but I don't even know if I want to know. That sounds
Yeah.
very ugly.
Could you imagine working somewhere for 21 years and being like the lead writer on a game and then finally and just being like, you know what, I'm good. I'm out.
Yeah, see, like that's one of those things too, where it's like, you know, when you're working somewhere for 21 years, you're pretty much deciding to stay there. So something
Yeah.
to really push him away. Wow. Yeah, I was originally planning on getting the game. I'm probably not now, just because just not even really based on like the game, but just based on that I'm not gaming as much.
Yeah.
So we'll probably chill on that, and we'll see what happens. If it gets great ratings and stuff like that, I might. Or if I know a bunch of people who pick it up, and then I have to like play it with them essentially. But yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that it's going to be day and date on Game Pass. I could be wrong though.
I don't even have Game Pass
Let's see.
because I just don't game enough.
I know, but it's a cheaper way to get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I don't have Game Pass right now, but I could, like I could do Game Pass just to play it. There's nothing saying that it will be on Game Pass at release. There's an article 6 days ago from Real Sport 101 that said it's not as of now. So I read that article backwards. I thought that the article was saying, yes, it is going to be on Game Pass, but it's not.
Interesting. Yeah. Speaking earlier, we were talking about PlayStation. And I know I've been talking a lot about VR the last couple weeks or whatever. But you see they're like starting to talk about the VR 2.
Yeah, they said that it's only going to have one cable, which excites me because that was my biggest frustration with the first one.
Yeah, it was
having to run that box and then a cable and then a box.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was like, it's like I
got tangled up in it a couple times.
Yeah, it was like I was being monitored at the hospital or something like that.
Yeah, I mean the multiple HDMI cable setup to make it work was kind of interesting, because I think they were pushing that technology. But I struggled, and we've talked about this before. I struggled with some of the frame rate issues and nausea and all that stuff because of it.
Right.
But I'd be interested to see how it goes. I mean, 100 if they can get up to 120 frames.
Well, it is at 120 hertz.
Yeah, and it's 120 hertz.
I think matters a lot.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
I would rather play at 60 frames with 120 hertz than 120 frames at 60 hertz personally.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think that for me it's going to be a matter of like, is it going to be as good as the Quest? What price point are they going to throw it at?
No more than 500. I think it'll be $399.
They can't make it more than the PlayStation 5.
How much is the PlayStation 5?
It's got to be in that price range, right?
Well, how much is the PlayStation 5?
PS5, well, it's hard to really look right now because of how messed up this pricing is. $499 is the retail,
okay,
and $399 for the digital.
So yeah, I'd say $299 or $399.
Yeah, it would be really hard for it to be above $399 with the PS5 digital being $399.
Right.
But it could be they may just throw the pricing out the window and say, look, you want the best, here it is. I could see that happening. At the same time, would anybody pay for that? Like,
I think yes. The thing about consoles is they're loyalists for sure. So they're already going to have a lot of people buying it just because it's PlayStation.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I like PlayStation as much as the next guy, but like, if I'm getting a VR, I want the best VR experience. At this point, like I'm not like I have the original one, and at the time that was the best in-home experience for the price.
Right.
Because the alternative was the HTC Vive, which was like $800, I think.
Well, have you seen the HP Reverb G2?
No.
It has the highest resolution.
I'll have
It's
to check it out.
2160 by 2160.
So HP has it for 450 right now on their
Right.
website.
Originally 600.
Yeah. It might be an interesting thing to take a peek at. I'll have to look at some reviews on it and see. The thing is, it's interesting because like it's got a 3.5-star review right now on Google. So to me, that's like seems low.
Yeah. I know too. So from people I follow, like on like Twitter and like TikTok and stuff, who are big into VR, they say that like this is their favorite because of the high resolution. Now they do say too, it's not for new VR users. For whatever reason, they didn't really go into detail about that. But also it requires like a higher end PC, so that could be why people are probably just buying it as their first VR with like a medium to lower end PC, and then they're just like, well, what the heck? It's framey, it's laggy, and stuff like that, But but as the more experienced VR people, they either like the Vive, which is a little expensive, but apparently the Reverb is G2 is pretty good, mostly because of the resolution. But I mean, who knows how long it'll have the highest resolution? I mean, the Oculus Quest 3 come out and blow everyone out of the water.
They haven't talked about the 3 yet, right?
Not that I've heard, but also CES was like 2 weekends ago, last weekend, something like that.
Yeah.
So who knows what they showed off there. As far as VR, I didn't see anything VR related. I just saw some things that like popped up and whatnot. So anyway.
So I did see something really interesting at CES that I saw somebody post, and it's interesting because I've said this for years and no one ever really believed me. But I always felt like when I wore earbuds, like I would get an ear infection.
Interesting.
Like, and it would be like it would always bother me. So Samsung 8 days ago announced dehumidifying earbuds.
What? Yes.
So I'm not completely crazy. Like it's a real thing. Digital Trends. I actually saw the article. I actually saw somebody at CES with a camera and they were showing it off. Geek News Central. Shout out to the guy that runs that page. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I follow him on Twitter. He was at CES and he was showing off these earbuds. They call it an ear care device. It's called the LinkFace Dearbuds.
Interesting.
They have a Bluetooth option that will allow you to still hear sound, and there's just a regular version that will help dehumidify your ears to cut down the number of try to cut down on your ear infections. So I quit wearing earbuds altogether. I want to say about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I wear either the ones that sit on the outside of your ears, or obviously full over the ear. But these Dearbuds, they're going to hit the market either on Kickstarter or Indiegogo in Q1 or Q2 this year. And the early bird pricing is set at $54. And the retail version is going to cost $89. So I'm interested to see like how those work out. Because I mean, for somebody who has had a ton of ear infections and wears a lot of headphones, it's an interesting concept. Because I actually like when we get done with the show, I usually hang up my headset and I go and I clean out my ears almost immediately when we're done.
Gotcha.
So those were the one thing at CES that really caught my attention.
They have a 98-inch 4K UHD TV.
Yeah, I saw something that was like a 110-inch TV or something as well.
Ridiculous. You know, something that's kind of interesting too is I feel like projectors are like making a comeback a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't really know why. I've never really been a fan, but I'm sure the technology's been increasing, so therefore, it's probably a lot better, but
Screen Innovations 110-inch zero-edge projector screen, $5,932 at Best Buy.
dang.
Oh man, that's nuts. But an 86-inch TV, 4K TV right now is like $2,000. I just couldn't imagine 86.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to even watch at that point because you're just like, if you're looking at something over down in the bottom left, then you're
Better
missing
be in
out
a really big room, right?
Yeah, you have to be pretty far back. But at that point, like, why are you so far back when you don't have to?
Yeah. The Sony Bravia 100-inch 4K UHD full array smart Google TV is $17,000.
Dang.
It was $20,000. Like it better drive me to and from work. Like I can imagine coming home with that bad boy. But yeah, there's some crazy ones that they've been showing, and I'm just every time I see it, I'm even more surprised by it.
And there's also like this like personal like basically a helicopter or whatever. It's just like a single person helicopter that I guess is all electric. That they're just, which I guess you can buy one right now for like 98,000 or something crazy. But
if you have that much like cash just chilling, like send some our way.
Please.
Somebody buy Tay a PS5.
I was about to say, or just send Tay a PS5.
Just send Tay a PS5 and make our day. Gotta make up for him.
Interesting.
Did you see the
LG? Find one while he's out of town.
The LG dual up monitor? Did you see that at all?
No, I did not.
So it's a 27.6-inch monitor. So it seems like essentially the same way that I have the side-by-side for Samsung, where it's the big widescreen, except this is top and bottom. So it's like having two 27-inch or 21.5-inch monitors stacked on top of one another.
That's pretty smart because then it's like it's seamless, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's smart because
so you've got the workspace up and down versus side to side. Which if you're limited in space, that's really good. I actually have that set up next to the setup that we stream on. I have a setup similar to that, but with two screens, top and bottom.
Yeah.
My
it's almost
Mac is on one, and then the Xbox plugs into the other.
It's almost like the opposite of curved monitors, because like curved monitors are usually two displays, but can also be one. Whereas this is like two displays, but just opposite. And you wouldn't really want curved upwards, so it's like that's pretty cool. Smart.
I'm digging it. I think it's one that's really, really interesting. Another one that you would probably like that I saw was the Freestyle from Samsung. It's a like small compact projector.
Okay. Now I did see some of those.
Streams anywhere from 30 to 100 inches.
Dang.
It has like an autofocus.
How much does that run?
I don't remember seeing the price on it when I saw the video or anything. Yeah, I don't see a price on this article either. But that's one thing that looked really cool. I also found another thing that I thought was really, really interesting, and I seriously am considering it for our house. It's a smart Wi-Fi deadbolt.
I don't know, man. Like, sounds like easily be hacked.
I don't know.
I don't really trust electronic locks. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that's interesting because we're always like, did we lock that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
I'm also the did I close the garage door guy.
See, you see, if I went that route, because I get what you're saying, I would have an electronic lock, but then I would also have a manual one. So
Yeah.
that way
It
you always
has
have
it
both.
has a spot for a key
Right. They
as
always
well.
do, but
Yeah.
like as long as that battery's charged, man, I don't trust somebody with some sort of device. Look, nowadays there are people who can buy something online for $200 and unlock your car. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like without anything. They just walk by it, like boop, unlock. You know what I mean? So it's just like I just don't trust like that.
Yeah. For those people that are looking for like to save some space, if you're really tight on space, like if you're in an apartment but you're a gamer, Kensington made this Surface laptop riser that's technically for a Surface Pro. I wonder if it would how well it would work with like putting a monitor on top of it and a console below it. Might be
Mm,
worth checking out for some
right.
people.
Hmm.
That was the other. I think that was the only other weird like thing that I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
I definitely
Um,
like the idea.
how are you? What do you feel about like the automated vacuum cleaners, like the RoboVacs or
Ever
whatever?
since I saw that somebody had a dog
Yeah,
and the
and got
dog,
poop on.
yeah, like went to the
Yeah,
bathroom indoors,
yeah,
and then so the little robot just decided to drag it all throughout the house.
yeah.
I think they're cool. My dad has one. I mean, we just have like, like I don't know, it's like just like a cheap brand. It's not like super intelligent or anything. Um, I definitely feel like they're potentially the future, but I also have read some articles to where some brands are mapping out your house, and that's not really cool. I get that it has to, but what they're doing with that information, I have no idea. That I just know that when you accept the terms and conditions, you're accepting that they're allowed to save that and use it for whatever they want, and that's what the article is kind of talking about. So it's like, do I really care? No, but I don't. Why? Like, why? I don't know why they want it, and so it's probably to create another product and like, well, we have this information, so it'd be perfect for your house.
Yeah.
But I I'm indifferent about them. Don't love them. Don't hate them. What about
There's
you?
one that was announced that is interesting to me just because my argument with it has always been like, how often do you have to empty it? How do you clean it? Like, what's all
Mm,
this, right?
mm-hmm.
So there's one that's coming out that's going to be available on Amazon. It's going to be like $1,400. So it's
Jeez.
never going to happen in my reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's called the S7 Max V Ultra. It can mop and it can vacuum.
Okay, the mopping is cool.
So it can mop and it can vacuum, but it's also got a multi-purpose dock that empties, washes, and refills itself with clean water.
Okay, so then I'm assuming you'd have to empty the dock and refill the dock unless you hooked it up to water line.
Right. It doesn't look like it hooks up to a water line based on what I'm seeing, but that alone, I think, is a really interesting concept. I'd be okay with having to empty the dock like once a week or whatever, and putting fresh water in. It's like,
Yeah. So, I mean, that wouldn't be bad. My other question
is
is
it
how does it know?
$1,400 convenient?
For some
No.
people.
Mm.
But my question is too, how does it know the difference between hard surfaces and carpet? Like, is this thing gonna just start mopping my carpet?
I would guess that it
I
probably
mean,
has some sensors,
yeah, I
obviously.
mean, it would have to know, but that's just one thing I could see potentially it being a problem. You come home to like a soaking wet rug or, you know,
Yeah.
this or that. Hmm.
But yeah,
Super interesting.
there weren't a whole lot of announcements for gaming though.
Yeah.
But one that I'm surprised we haven't talked about, and we probably would if Tay was here, is the portable speaker that basically hooks to the back of your phone that looks like a pop socket.
Right.
That I could see Tay like being totally into. But
Yeah.
it's a magnet.
See, my issue with speakers though is like it's kind of a joke. Like when it's like, oh, you started going to the gym, congrats. Like you'll never be big enough or whatever. Like you're always gonna like want to be bigger as far as muscular goes. And that's how I am with speakers. It's like one's never loud enough. You know what I mean? Like I have
No,
a
I
perfectly
understand.
good Shark waterproof speaker, and the battery life on it's pretty good. You know, you can plug it in, it'll play as long as you need to, and it's really loud for the size of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, whenever I'm shopping or whatever, and I'm like, I see that JBL boombox, like giant, massive thing. It's like the size of a
I got the JBL Flip because it was a
yeah,
little bit bigger than the other one I had.
right. That's what I'm saying. So like, it's never big
I know,
enough.
I
So like,
totally get what you're saying.
so I would buy that, and here's the other thing too is I would hope that with that it would play out of my phone and the speaker to like amplify it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it probably doesn't.
it probably doesn't. It probably just goes to the speaker.
Yeah. So that's my issue with speakers is that it's just never loud enough. Like I always want the next bigger and louder one I can get my
Yeah,
hands on.
I get that. Like I always thought that bigger meant better on speakers until I got the KRK 5-inch monitor speakers, like that are studio monitors.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, it doesn't always mean that bigger ones are better because I had some
Yeah.
much bigger ones that were just not. The highs weren't as high and the lows weren't as low, and those are by
Yeah.
far my favorite.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, that's the thing about speakers is you just kind of you never really know.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't
like
want to be that
on
guy in
this
the
setup,
store jamming out.
when we're not on the show and I'm not wearing headphones, I have the Razer. Was it the Nano? Can't remember what they're called. Razer Nomo Chroma. The ones that have the bass and they have the speakers that sit up.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have a sub,
Yeah. Are you?
and I
That's
wish they had a sub.
yeah.
Because my
That's
other
like
set, my Logitech set that I have over on the other side of the room behind me,
yeah.
that we hook the laptop up to, and we do like live streams from that side of the room.
Mm-hmm.
That has a sub, and I like
Nice.
that a lot. So,
A sub makes a huge difference. You don't
oh
really
yeah,
realize it until after you buy one. And at the same time, like I bought like a sound bar with a sub
Mhm.
like a year ago. And it makes all the difference. And it's like you can tell too if like for whatever reason like the sub like turns off or whatever, like
and
you're
like,
you're
what
like
just happened to all the bass?
why
Yeah,
is the couch not vibrating? Like what's going on
yeah,
here?
yeah. I love gaming. I'm actually one of the things I'm looking most forward to this weekend. Um, God of War comes out on Friday on PC.
All right.
And the music for that game on PlayStation
Pretty
is one of
good.
the best soundtracks of any game I've ever played.
That'd be an interesting discussion. Next week we should talk about which game has the best soundtrack ever. Just
That would
start
be
thinking. Just start thinking.
It couldn't be an hour-long show, Mark.
Well,
Not for me. I mean, I could sit and talk about that for days. Like,
well, that's a good topic then, you know. If we got to
there's
cut it
so
early, we'll cut it early, but
yeah, there's so many games that would hit on that one. But God of War's soundtrack, in the way that they build the suspense in the game,
mhm.
I just think it was so good, and I really want to hear it through those speakers. Like I should
Right.
have just hooked that up to my PlayStation, I guess, when I played it. But now I'm really looking forward to getting into that game this weekend, and it'll be the second time I've played through it, which doesn't happen for me very often on multiple playthroughs.
Yeah, I've never played it before. And part of me, have you played the other God of Wars?
Yeah,
Do I need to play
it's
those?
no. This
No.
is basically a reboot
Gotcha. Well, I heard
of
it's
the
like a different
series.
mythology, right?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So this is like the beginning of the story. It's basically just like a complete reboot.
Right. Now, I'm
But
sure
by
I'll miss out
far,
on like little Easter eggs and stuff, but that's fine.
there's a few, but nothing that you would is just like, oh my god, I can't believe they put that in there. Like
Right.
I didn't have any of those moments. I don't want to ruin it for anybody that's going to be jumping in the first time, but there are really early on, there are some really cool moments that just like they just hit home, like kind of hit home when I played it through the first time. So I was really excited to see like where the story goes from there. So I think people that
Yeah.
haven't played it before are going to be pleasantly surprised with how this game is. I mean, it's 4 years old at this point.
Well, maybe I'll get that. Is it really 4 years? It was crazy. I almost bought it for PlayStation because I was like, I don't know if I can wait till it comes out on PC. And here we are, and I just never bought it.
It came out
So
in 2018.
that's crazy.
Um,
You know, I might get that instead of Dying Light 2 then.
yeah, I
We'll see.
mean,
We'll see if the gaming picks up a little bit.
the other one that I would recommend if you haven't played it yet is that Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah. Is that on Switch?
No, but they have it on PC. It's available on PC, and it was on PS4 and PS5. But it was on Epic. I got it. I believe it's on their holiday sale. If their holiday sale's still up. So, just a really, really interesting, cute, like well told story. Music was really good in that one too.
Yeah, see, I almost picked up that one a while ago too. And really the only reason I haven't been gaming more on my PC is, for one, I've been keeping it at my mom's and I'm only here like 2 or 3 days out of the week. And
Gotcha.
it's just easier because I used to like move it back and forth because you know, sometimes we do the podcast here, like it's dropped off a little bit, but mostly because of the holidays. But and then at the same time, like now that I have the Oculus, I've really addicted to that. So it's been hard to like want to play PC games, especially single players, because like I think just like where I am right now with just like my time and everything, I'm just not ready to dedicate it to a single player game. Like right now, it's like, okay, I just kind of want to go game for a little bit, escape, and then go to bed. Like, you know,
Right.
or whatever. I just want to kill some time.
That's what my Switch is. Like,
right,
hey, I'm gonna play this before, but
right, and which is like why I was hoping it was on the Switch, because I was like, okay, because like then I could, you know, at least justify it a little bit more.
Yeah, just a fantastic little game for people that are looking for something that's really story driven.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, ultimately, again, like anything that's really story driven is going to be something that catches my attention, and that's kind of why Sony. And I know Tay's not here. It's probably a good time to talk about PS5, honestly, because I know he rages when when we go on the PS5 rant here. But the story-driven games on PlayStation have been very, very good.
Yeah, they've always done a good job. Like they have always had good exclusives. I mean, what's that one that came out where it's like if you die, you restart, but the story's like different?
Deathloop?
No. Returnal?
Okay, Returnal, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't even know if that's a game, but it sounds
no, that's right. No, that's right.
So that's one I wanted to pick up, but it's just like hard because it's like, you know, I have a PS4 Pro, but it's like I don't want to play game. It's like I don't want to play games at like a lower quality.
No, I understand that.
So
that's been my struggle. So I just expanded my memory on the PS5 this past weekend, which is probably the main reason I didn't play as much, because the time that I would have spent playing, I was taking the PS5 apart to put the new hard drive in it.
Right.
Which actually, if you haven't done that and you're looking to do that, it's so much easier than I thought it was going to be. They actually have a video on their website that walks you through step by step. And Micro Center had one, usually $299 for the solid state drive. I got it for $109. Doesn't fit perfectly in there.
Right.
It's a little taller than it should be, but I was still able to put that protective cover back over top. I had to like bend it a little bit to make it work, but like
just flexed a little bit, you know.
Well, yeah, it's just a little flexed. Because you have to have a heat sink on the memory.
Okay.
So the heat sink on the one that I got was just a little too tall.
Right.
Like just enough to be noticeable. But as long as it doesn't melt the cover on my PS5, I think we're okay.
Nah, it should be fine. Unless you're pulling like a 24-hour stream, then maybe.
No.
But
no.
Okay, then you should be good. Unless you know you're trying to do it. I'm
Yeah,
always, I'm
no.
always, I'm always for pushing people for do 24-hour streams.
I've done a number of them. We did
Yeah.
one. We did the FIFA one for charity one year. We had 11 guys playing FIFA Pro Clubs together for 24 hours.
Dang,
That was a lot of fun.
it's hard to keep that many people up that long.
We raised, I want to say, like almost $1,000 for Child's Play.
Wow,
So that was
good
a
for
cool
you
one.
guys.
The struggle was real, though. I think about like we were like 20 hours in, and people would just all of a sudden the control, like you'd see them dribbling the ball, and then their guy would
Yeah.
stop moving, and you're like, he fell asleep.
And you're yelling at him to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's for me. It's like once I lose the motivation to play, that's when it tanks. But if a game is keeping my interest, then, but like that's like when I did mine for shoot, I can't remember the name for it. Amazon's MMO. Why can't I remember the name of that? Anyway, yeah, when I was doing it for that, I fell asleep in my chair for a minute. I don't even remember how long I fell asleep for. I just remember picking my head up and being like, "Oh, I was totally asleep." So, but no, I think your PS4 should be fine.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it doesn't have any issues.
So we've gone over our time a little bit. If you don't have anything else, I guess we should wrap things up. And I think next week we'll talk about our favorite soundtracks.
Ooh, yeah, that may be a two-parter.
That's fine. That's fine.
That one may break down into a two-parter.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can keep it. Oh yeah, like my brain is already like in overload thinking.
I
about
think
it.
it's. I mean, if we have enough content for 2 shows with it, and I don't see why not. You know,
I wish we could get the rights to play some of the like.
Yeah.
I know we could. So audio listeners, we could do a follow-up audio podcast of just the themes of the games we're talking about
Like
through
off the
Anchor.
air?
No, through Anchor.
Okay.
Because Anchor would allow us to use anything that's in our Spotify library.
Interesting.
And you could do it on there. We could also put together a Spotify playlist with our favorite
Okay.
favorite game sounds, so people can go and listen to them on their own as we talk through on them. So that probably would be our best bet. We can just create a Spotify playlist of our top gaming themes,
Right.
and soundtracks.
Cool.
So
I think it'd be interesting. Because there's definitely, I definitely have favorite songs and stuff. I mean,
Tay's gonna
think
hit us with stuff that was in the Madden soundtrack.
No, it's gonna be GTA 5 for sure, which is honestly a good soundtrack. I have a lot of songs in my liked songs from that playlist. You know, like that was a good playlist. So we'll see. But anything else, good sir?
Can't think of anything. I mean, we're knee deep in what is a crazy time for me. Is it's supposed to slow down here for a week or two and then pick right back up. But once we get back into figuring out what games are getting played when, we'll be good. So God of War is this weekend. What are you playing this weekend?
Probably just some more VR stuff.
VR. Yeah.
I am busy this weekend. We got the big Bengals game Saturday, so
yeah, I will be there.
That's gonna
I'm
be
so excited.
Yeah, so it's gonna take up quite a bit of my time.
I think my wife is taking us down and dropping us off, and then coming back to pick us up this time. So it wasn't bad getting back after the Chiefs game, but finding parking was rough. And since we'll be cutting it close to game time because my son has to work until a couple hours before kickoff, that makes it a little harder. So,
all right,
it should be fun. Should be a good weekend. For those of you that are part of Who Day Nation, do your thing. Say your Who Day. These are my 2 favorite teams, so it's hard for me to pick a side. But
Bengals,
as Tay said earlier, he knows I'm going to hit him with a Raiders chant.
No.
I love the Raiders. They've been my team from day one, but I'm from Cincinnati, so there's that part of me that wants to see the Bengals do well as well. So,
well, the Bengals are going to win, so this is about whether or not you're going to be disappointed.
I'm not going to be disappointed either way, and that's what I actually posted a thing on Facebook the other day. Somebody was like, "Well, who do you want to win?" And I was like, "I just hope both teams have fun." Ultimately, for me, it's win-win really, because if the Raiders do well, I'm happy. If the Bengals do well, everybody here is happy. Which there's nothing better than winning teams in Cincinnati. If you're not from here and you've ever seen this city when the teams are winning,
Yeah.
We're so used to not.
Yeah.
That it's a big deal when they are. So
It'll be interesting. Hopefully it's just a good game and hopefully both teams win.
yeah, maybe that. Too bad they can't tie. It's one of those
Right.
things that won't let it.
Right. So all righty. Well, that's the end of episode 2, and we will see you guys next Wednesday, 8:00, same place, same time. New episode.
Alrighty.
So for those
All right,
of you,
everybody. Thanks for watching.
Get your soundtracks in order, everybody.
Soundtracks. Yes, soundtracks.
All righty.
See you next time.
Boy.